Remember that the idea of dominance says that if you have a mixed strategy, sigma I, and a pure strategy, Si, such that no matter what the other players do, so for every S minus I, the utility you get from playing the mixed strategy sigma I is higher than the utility you get from playing Si, then we say that sigma I dominates Si. It's very important here that we have this strict inequality. So you have to be better off playing sigma I no matter what everybody else does. So for every possible combination of strategies of your opponents, you're better off playing sigma I than Si. Now if we instead had that you were only at least as well off playing sigma I as you were playing Si, that concept is called weak dominance. And we say that sigma I weakly dominates Si if for every possible strategy combination of all the other players, your utility from sigma I is at least as high as your utility from Si. Let's look at an example. Take a look at L versus M from player 2's perspective. If player 1 plays X, player 2, if he plays L, gets 5, plays M, he gets 5, so he's indifferent between the two. But if player 1 plays Y, he gets 0 from L and 1 from M. So he's at least as well off playing M as he is playing L. So we'd say M weakly dominates L. Like with strict dominance, can we be 100% sure that because L is weakly dominated, that player 2 won't play strategy L? Well, not really. If player 2 thought with certainty player 1 is going to play X, then there's no good reason for player 2 not to play L. So we can't build a behavioral theory around weak dominance the way we did with strict dominance and start ruling out strategies that are weakly dominated. Let's look at another example. I'm going to have you watch this little clip of a part of a game show where you'll see an example of a weakly dominated strategy. And we'll come back and we'll write down the normal form and we'll see what's going on there.
To split or steal. Lucy, Tony, you've been through a great deal to get here. You have trusted each other all the way through. However, you now have two final golden balls in front of you. They're the most important balls in the game. They're not cash balls, they're not killer balls. You both have a golden ball with the word split written inside. You both have a golden ball with the word steal written inside. You will both make a conscious choice of picking split or steal. Neither of you will know what the other has chosen. If you both choose the split ball, you will share today's jackpot of £66,885 and you will go home each with £33,442.50. That's an enormous amount of money. If one of you splits and one of you steals, whoever steals goes home with the total jackpot of £66,885. Whoever splits goes home with nothing. If you're both greedy and you both try to play clever and you both steal, you both go home with a big fat zero. And there's £66,885 in that jackpot. Are you both clear what it means?
Yep.
I'm going to ask you now to check the two golden balls to make sure which is the split ball and which is the steal ball. Tony, Lucy, check your balls to see which is split and which is steal. Before I ask you to choose, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to talk to each other about what's happened today and how you feel.
Go for it.
Tony, it's £33,000 each. That's amazing. That would change my life. We have to split.
I thought the 65,000 through all the way, and we've managed to keep it on there and share it between us. We've done well. There's a huge amount each to share and go away with.
It is
It's a dream
huge.
amount. I'll definitely be splitting this with you.
Me too.
Both confident you know what you're going to do?
Absolutely.
You sure?
Positive.
Yeah. Split.
Lucy, Tony, choose the split or steel ball now. You ready? Split or steel? Wow! 66,885 pounds. What have you done? You've got through this far and you're going home with nothing. That is unbelievable. I have to say, on behalf of ITV, thank you for your incredible generosity.
It's pretty straightforward to turn this game into a normal form game. The two players each have two strategies, split or steal. The amount that was at stake here was 66,885 pounds. And if they split it, they each would have gotten 33,442.5 pounds. So if they both played split, they would have shared the amount equally. If one played split and two played steal, then the one who played split would get 0, the one who played steal would get the entire amount. And if they both played steal, they would both get 0. Now, if you want to understand what went on here, it's clear to see that both players have a weakly dominant strategy, which is to play steal. Thinking about this from the player's perspective, if my opponent plays split, I'm better off to play steal. If my opponent plays steal, well, I get nothing anyway, so I don't lose anything from playing steal. So I might as well play steal. So that's why steal weakly dominates split. So why is it a good idea here for each of these players to play the weakly dominant strategy? It's because when there's even a tiny little chance that my opponent's going to play split, playing steal becomes the unique best response. In other words, it gives you a strictly higher expected payoff than split. So the only time steal gives you the same exact payoff as split is when you are 100% sure that the other guy is going to steal. So if there's even a sliver of a chance that they're going to play split, then by playing steal, you get a higher expected payoff than playing split. So if you have a belief that puts positive probability on all of the possible strategies that your opponent can play, even if the probabilities are for some of the strategies are very, very small, a weakly dominated strategy can't be a best response to that kind of a belief. So this is a general fact that a weakly dominated strategy can't be a best response to a fully mixed belief. So what do I mean by fully mixed belief? I mean beliefs like theta minus I. So theta minus I is a probability distribution over strategies of others, such that for every possible strategy profile of the others, the probability that the others are going to play that strategy profile is greater than 0. It could be very, very small, but it has to be greater than 0. Let's define, just like we've defined the set of best responses, let's define the set of best responses to beliefs that are in this set. So BI superscript CF, remember we're still allowing correlations, and F is for fully mixed. So the set of best responses to correlated and fully mixed beliefs are those strategies for player I that are a best response to some belief theta minus I in the set of potentially correlated beliefs that put positive probability on all strategy profiles. Now it turns out, like I've said above, that this set corresponds to the set of weakly undominated strategies. Notice that if a strategy is strictly dominated, then it's weakly dominated. So if a strategy SI is not weakly dominated, then it can't be dominated either. This means that if SI, a strategy SI, is in the set of weakly undominated strategies, then it has to also be in the set of undominated strategies. That in turn means that the set of weakly undominated strategies is a subset of the set of undominated strategies. This is also evident from the fact that the left side of this is, by this result stated above, is equal to the set of best responses to beliefs that are fully mixed, and UD is equivalent to the set of best responses to beliefs that don't necessarily have full support. So in order to be in this set, you have to be a best response to a very special kind of belief. So it's a higher bar set for membership in this set than in this set. So this set is a smaller set than this one. In other words, this set is a smaller set than this one. So we have this relationship. Just to wrap up this discussion of weak dominance, I want to say that it's a very strong assumption to say that people have beliefs that are fully mixed over what others are going to do. And that's why the idea of weak dominance doesn't give us a theory of rational behavior the way dominance does. Moreover, when we try to use weak dominance in later chapters, we'll see that it's going to present problems if you try to use weak dominance the way you use dominance. So that's why when I say dominance, I'm going to mean strict dominance the way I've defined it earlier, and not weak dominance. So I'll use the word weak to distinguish this concept of weak dominance from just dominance. So for the most part, we're going to concentrate on just dominance. But nonetheless, this idea of weak dominance can often be helpful in trying to understand what players will do in a given game.